Welcome to Real Pod, the newest fiancés on the block.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second appearance on Real Pod. Let's go.
I know. How are you guys feeling? It's been 4 days now.
4 days. I have never been more tired in my life than I was on Monday.
Yeah, she kept saying like, "Oh, no one prepared me for how tiring the days after are."
I was like so emotionally drained. That was wild.
It's a lot. Like, just you're processing everything. All of your favorite people are in one place. You're also surprised. So surprised, Wood. She had no idea. You pulled it off, executed.
There was a little video file though, right beforehand. How much before the engagement was that little closet video you took, Aubrey?
I'm not kidding. It was 5 minutes before we were leaving. Like, I didn't even have time to process that I was feeling it. It was the drive over where I was like talking myself in and out of it.
That's the same as you. You got the scent.
Yeah,
like
but
5 minutes before we left.
But
for
I
ours.
had some obvious cues. Aubrey was just having her witchy intuition.
I just had a woman's intuition. It took over. I was like, why are his palms so sweaty?
These weak arms are heavy.
Okay, so I want to go through everything. So, I mean, let's take it back to when Wood, I guess, first told Max before me about
Good looks, baby.
I'll never let me live down.
Rose before girls.
Vic and I got like a little mini tip about that too.
Because I was upset he didn't tell me. Anyways, Wood, we'll let you tell it from your perspective how the Browns were first notified.
Yeah, so I was in LA for work, and I was there for 3 to 4 days, and I had dinner scheduled, I think, with both of you, or I was trying to get it with both of you, but only Max could attend the first night. So I was bursting at the seams. I couldn't hold it in any longer, and I was like, Max, I'm going to tell you something, and you can't go home and tell Vic. And that's just
got you.
Us four, that's a dangerous sentence because we know that never stays true, but it sounds like it stayed true. But I told him at dinner, we were at dinner, and he was like, yo, what? And then he realized he had to be quiet all night, and he was like, oh no, I'm gonna blow it. And then we got coffee the next morning, and yeah, and I told you then, and you snapped into planning mode already. You were like, oh my God, so exciting. Where are you doing it? How are you doing it? Where are you, like, when are you doing it?
I know. And I didn't want to come on too strong. But apparently I did. And I guess, yeah, to add to that, you know, Wood in his mind is like, Vic couldn't make the dinner and I'm seeing her the next morning. But then I guess, yeah.
It wasn't my place to tell you. It's Wood's news to tell you. So if I need to wear one on the chin for 36 hours, I'll do that all day.
It was funny because like I wanted to be mad at him and he was like, what would you have rather have me tell you and you not hear it from Wood? And I'm like, no, but I'm still upset.
We're a unit. We're a unit. We're one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we had that coffee and I remember being so nervous after that coffee because Aubrey knew we were meeting up. So I was like, she has to think we're going to talk about this. And then also I had kind of been making a little bit of a ruckus to Aubrey about how you hadn't talked to me about it. And I was like starting to be like, no, like, should I reach out? Should I wait? So then I was like, what's my narrative going to be? Because if I stop bitching that you haven't talked to me about it, will she know you talked to me about it?
Yeah, I was struggling. I mean, keep in mind, I know Vic just said what she said, but the whole communicated plan was that this was happening in the fall of this year. So
to me too.
Yeah.
I was really like set in my brain that it was happening in like September.
Yeah, we have such a busy year this year with weddings and everything that we're going to, and the only time our schedule clears up is in the fall. So I was kind of hinting at it, and I was like, hey, this, like, that'll be cool next fall. We can start, you know, like start living engaged life and all this stuff. So I kept seeding these hints. And then Vic in, when was that, March? March is like, why hasn't he talked to me yet?
I know.
And I was like, I don't know why he hasn't talked to you yet. Get him on it.
Yeah, he's just a boy. Yeah.
I remember you sent me one text that was like, whenever things start, like, you'll be the first to know. And I would just be like, okay, like, I got to go to bed with that knowing. Because I just love Aubrey so much. And I didn't know. I mean, my own brother didn't tell, like, he barely even almost didn't tell me until he needed a favor a week before. So I didn't know if, like, I don't know, you would take that route. But anyways, so that's when the plan started to begin, and you were choosing the venue and kind of coming up with this lie that there was going to be this Father's Day brunch
Let's not call it that. Come on now.
This
A
ruse.
cover.
There was a ruse, a cover.
There were a lot of great covers.
Something was afoot. Yes.
Yeah.
We had guests in town. We had a concert the night before. There was a lot of great covers.
And so, Wood, what was most important to you when planning the engagement? Like, what were some of the things you knew had to happen so that it would be what Aubrey was wanting?
Her people were there. She had always said, I mean, we've talked about it before. Obviously, we got the ring size and did all that. But her one quote unquote requirement was that her people were there. And actually, it's a pretty small list. She was like, I need this person, this person, this person, and Victoria. And I was like, okay. So I got to talk to Victoria first, partly as her best friend, but partly as if Vic can't make it, we're not doing it.
I was the same way. Mine couldn't happen without Aubrey being there.
Aubrey was in the know right from the start with mine.
I know.
Yeah.
Max, I think I was the first person you told. I remember how floored I was.
I don't know how Wood would describe Vic's like dynamic in this, but Aubrey was my like therapist throughout the whole process. So shout out therapist Gavello.
Well,
therapist Wood. Now let's go.
People
Wow.
I wanna
Austin
say
Lodge.
people should know this about Wood, but it's clear based on the TikTok comments that they say woman, or they say Wood is a man written by women. So,
And what's crazy is I have always said that he needs no help. There's no
Literally.
training involved.
no,
I needed help. I needed lots of help. And Vic was like the biggest help. I knew as soon as I assigned youth anything, it was taken care of, and taken care of to a level that I didn't even imagine. It was like the flowers, the people, the texting, making sure everyone's there on time. Like Vic had that dialed in, and I was chilling up until the day of.
Okay. Wood knows these are the things that Aubrey needs for the proposal. And what were some of the things, Aubs, that like happened in whether your conversations or your dates that just kept you thinking this is not happening for a few more months?
Oh my God. I mean, everything. He had me so fooled. Like for starters, we were having a conversation like 3 weeks ago with his grandma, and his grandma was just grilling him, being like, why don't you have a date yet? I'm just starting to worry this isn't going to happen. And then in my head, I'm like, she's freaking me out. I'm like, does he have cold feet? Like, I'm like, what is going on? Like, she was going so in that I was like, there is no freaking way there's not a date on the calendar. But little did I know his mom hadn't told his grandma before that dinner because she was
exact reason.
so worried she would ruin it. And it threw me off so much.
So as soon as we left Seattle, my mom told her and was like, you were kind of pressing hard, and he does have a date, and it's in 2 weeks.
Wait, that's perfect. I see you, Carolyn. Like that probably helped so much too, because it's just hard to lie. Like I think that has been really difficult the whole time. It's like, how do you lie when the relationship is just so open all the time, 24/7, every thought, you know, and Wood, you're living with Aubrey, you're with her every day, and you have this massive secret.
He also was very good now looking back at like never directly lying to me, just like re-skirting the conversation. Like when I asked obviously about your guys' coffee, when now I know he told you, I was like, did it come up? Like, what were you guys talking about? And he was like, I mean, you know, Vic, like, of course she mentioned it, but like, yeah, I know it was a lot more casual than I expected. Like it was so like,
I didn't say no.
to the point where I was like, Vic, like, come on. You need to be pressing.
Oh my gosh. I thought, Aubrey, that when you were visiting me in LA and we were having our girls' weekend where these two were on a trip together, I thought you knew for sure that I just like couldn't speak or form sentences and that something was awry.
No, I had no idea.
Before that trip, so Max and I were on a golf trip, and you went to LA to hang with Vic for her birthday. Yeah. And Vic had called me and was like, just so you know, this is what I'm going to say. This is how I'm going to say some things. And I just don't want to like make it seem like I do know, because I do know, but I don't want. And it was just so like, I was like, okay. I appreciate it.
Wait, the amount of team huddles that Wood and I had that were like just for me and a complete waste of his time.
It was the classic, like, this meeting could have been an email.
I guess my thought, well, first of all, I just want to talk about it. So it's just fun to talk about. But secondly, I guess I had always been like, the engagement, bringing up things about what wedding dress Aubrey would wear one day. Like, I always talk about it. So I guess I wanted to communicate to you, like, if you hear me doing that, don't be like, oh my God, she's totally like blowing the whole plan. Know that that's a strategy and it's me trying to just be myself.
Oh, speaking of strategy, my mom's thing my entire life has been like, she can never keep a secret. She's the classic, like, as you're opening a present, she's like, it's a robe. If you don't like it, you can return it. Like she just can't hold it in. And for my birthday, she had bought me these earrings and she sent me a picture of the bag and was like, can I give you your birthday present now? And I was like, no, my birthday's in 2 weeks, whatever. She later on the phone was like, Aubrey, when am I going to give you your earrings for your birthday? And then was like, oh no. But it was all a facade, so that I knew she was keeping a secret.
She fake leaked information so that Aubrey would think she still can't keep a secret, so that her mom doesn't know about the engagement.
And so on that phone call, I was like, Mom, you're going to ruin my engagement. You're going to ruin the surprise. Wood can't tell you until 3 days before. Little did I know, she knew that whole time, and she was just putting on a show.
Christina, honestly, was like the secret weapon MVP of the secret.
That's what I
literally,
said too. Yeah.
Literally. It was wild.
Oh. And like her just devising that little thing by herself, just
literally. I was like, okay, where's your Academy Award? What is that? Where did that come from?
There was one moment. So the day, I think we can skip ahead to the day I asked Christina for her blessing. We went over to visit Aubrey's. Well, okay, we went to Easter in Palm Desert, and I was like, this is the perfect time with her family. Aubrey didn't leave my hip the whole time, so I had no time to talk to Christina, or at least no meaningful time, other than just like passing by or sitting by the pool, and Aubrey's walking around. So I'm like, oh no, I blew that one. When am I going to tell her or ask her? And the next weekend, her grandma gets knee replacement surgery, so we go visit her grandma. And Aubrey's deep in conversation with grandma while grandma's laying in bed. And I'm in the room and Christina goes, I got to go feed the dogs. And she's gone for a solid 2.5, 3 minutes. And I'm like, this is an ideal time. I'm going to find her in this house and I'm going to corner her. And so I was like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. So I left. I went to the kitchen. No, Christina. I'm like, no, it's not happening. And then, so I actually go to the bathroom, I go pee, and then I come out of the bathroom and I hear the dog food and I'm like, ooh, now's the time. So I had to whisper this whole conversation with Christina. We're in like one room apart almost.
Yeah.
So I had to whisper and ask for her blessing. I'm shaking. I'm like, whatever. And I start talking to her. I'm like, Christina, I love your daughter. Like all this stuff. And I want to marry her. And I'm lighter than that. I'm just doing it louder for the podcast. And she immediately starts crying and then did exactly what Vic did. She started crying and then went, when? Are your parents going to be there? What's going on? Like she snapped into planning mode so fast. And I was like, these are the people that surround Aubrey.
Was she like,
this is
what
where
are you
she
doing?
gets it from.
Yeah.
Initially, was she like, what are you doing? And why are you whispering? And why are you approaching me
while I feed the dog?
Yeah, I know. Why would I go out into the kitchen and whisper to her? I don't know.
I just love dogs. I wanted to accompany you.
Aw, Obs, how does it make you feel hearing all these stories that you didn't know were happening?
It was so funny. The second we got in the car after he proposed, I was like, tell me everything. I was like, when did you tell Vic? When did you tell my mom? And it was like, it wasn't even just like, when did you tell them? It was like,
what did they say? Word for word.
What did they say? What were their faces like?
Okay, so let's talk about engagement day. So this was just such a special day. My POV was posted on Instagram, so that's done. No one cares. Aubrey, everyone wants to know what was happening for you. Take us through like waking up, start to finish this day.
Great. Okay.
Start with the concert.
So my friend Marine and my little brother flew into town to go see Martin Garrix in San Francisco on Friday night. And so also in my brain, what threw me off is I was like, Wood would never plan an engagement where he knew I could be hungover. I was like, there's just no way. He knows my party habits.
Can I say that was a major concern I had? I was like, she's going to be swollen and hungover on her engagement day. But what
miracles happen. Miracles happen. So we go on Friday night. Little did I know my friend Marine was just bringing me sodas when I was asking for vodka sodas, which curbed me down by the end of the night. I woke up in the morning and I texted Marine, I feel like I got hit by a truck. And then Wood, I
Lovely.
usually do like the Korean ice bath thing with ice cubes. So Wood prepped one. He was like, I'm dumping my face in ice. Like, I was like, great.
No.
It was like so nonchalant all morning. We were sitting on the couch with my little brother. He ended up peeling off, quote unquote, to go get lunch with his friends. And Marine ended up peeling off to go get lunch with her grandma. I had no idea. And Wood was like, do you mind if we go to the Palace of Fine Arts before we go to this Father's Day brunch? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, didn't think twice. And so as I'm getting ready, I come out and I'm like, ugh, I hate both my dress options. I was like, they're so bad, but I rented them both. Like, I feel like I should wear one. And he tried to like
I was like,
reroute me.
Let's look in your closet, see what else you have. And she's like, no, I have to wear one of these two. I rented them. I was like,
Shout out.
okay, guess we're going with this one. It turned out perfect, but still.
And
yeah.
sorry, quick interjection, because I saw people commenting this on your TikTok. So everyone, Wood is a professional photographer and videographer. So for him to say, it's a beautiful day, I want to get these photos, is not a weird thing. And he had been taking photos around the city to frame for their apartment. So for him to be like, oh, and I'm going to bring my camera and let's take a picture on the way, like that really is not a weird thing.
Yes, yeah. I feel like I always forget to include that context, that it's not weird, because like it's so, like, so normal to me.
He asked to go take pictures at POFA and you didn't know?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. We've done that a million times.
Yeah, it wasn't to take pictures of us or take pictures of Aubrey. It was to take pictures of the monument so we could blow it up and put it on our wall, which we've been doing.
Yeah. So that was all checked out. And then I come out and I grab Wood's hand and it's like dripping wet. And he was like, I don't know why they're so clammy today. I was like, they're always a little clammy, but this is extra clam today. So Wood is sitting on the couch watching soccer. I'm like finishing my mascara and he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm alone with my thoughts for like 4 minutes and something just comes over me. And I'm like, is Wood about to propose right now? Like, I don't know what, it was the weirdest feeling. Like, nothing tipped me off. I had not seen any of my friends' locations. Victoria's stories were the only thing keeping me grounded, that like, no, Victoria is at a wedding venue with Cubby and like looking at Gus's little shaved feet threw me off.
Dude, that was so random. Like just doing a Gus like excursion. And also everyone listening, I told Aubrey 2 weeks prior, we were on like a long FaceTime call, like an hour catching up. And at the very end, when we were doing our final, like, anything else new? I was like, oh, actually, I was like, this is so sweet. Cubby asked me to go do some wedding errands with her next weekend. Like, isn't that so sweet? Like, she wants me there. Like, so I planted it to her that it was a plan for a while.
It was too intricate for it to be a lie. And so it was the only thing keeping me being like, no, you are not getting engaged today. You're going to a Father's Day brunch. Like, stay on this earth. But I don't know. I like wish I could describe the feeling in more depth. So I went into the closet and I took the video that you guys can find on my TikTok. But as we were leaving, like we were walking down and he was like talking a lot, like, oh, should I take the picture like vertical, or do you think I should take it like hamburger style? Like, well, like if you can see here, like it'll be a square if I crop it in. And I was like, this is a lot of detail, buddy.
Why am I asking Aubrey for photography advice?
I was like smiling at him, being like, do I know something right now? He asked me if I wanted to drive or Uber, which I also was like, why would we Uber? But still,
how long's the walk from your place to the place it all went down?
It's a 20-minute walk. So it was like clear we were driving.
In my mind, we're going to an engagement party afterwards. We're drinking. So like, let's Uber. And then we can walk from Palace of Fine Arts to the venue. And she goes, let's drive. And I was like, okay, there's a little wrench in my plan here.
When I found out you guys drove, I was like, yes.
Thank God.
And that car ride was beautiful. I mean, it also gave us a chance to see the weather and like how everything worked out. It was 72 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. We drove down a different way than we normally would because you all are on the normal route towards, and if one of you is crossing the street with flowers or balloons, like there goes that whole surprise. So we drove down like the Marina Green.
He was also playing our playlist, like our collab playlist, and he was tapping to it because he was like had so much nervous energy. And I was like, is this Indigo, which is the name of our playlist? He's like, yeah, this song was pretty big in 2016. I was like, oh, is it pretty big in 2016? But like also like being like, don't be weird. Like, don't be weird. Like, you're going to a golf club for Father's Day.
Okay, so you get there, and would you do you? I think you said you took like 10 minutes of pictures and stuff to really sell it.
Yeah, so one thing I take pride in my parallel parking. Like I pretty
That
much
was
nail it.
also what it
I
was.
pretty much nail it on the first time every time. And as we get to Palace of Fine Arts, I'm like, oh no, where are we gonna park? And a car pulls out right in front, just absolutely perfect spot. And I pull up to parallel park. It took me 4 tries because I was shaking, I was nervous, and I
No,
just
that's so
could
cute.
not, I could not operate heavy machinery. And so I finally get parked. I open the trunk. I opened my backpack. She was also looking for a ring box in my pocket just in case, but it was in the camera bag. So I got there, I pulled out the bag. I'm taking photos for way too long, but there was a reason for that because in the exact spot that I wanted to propose, there was a couple there taking a very intimate photo shoot on an iPhone. And like, we're not going to ask, I can't ask them to leave. The photographer had already tried to clear the area. The photographer that I had hired that was hiding had tried to clear the area, but this couple just walked up and was doing like very intimate
Oh
poses in front
gosh.
of Palace of the Fine Arts. And I was like, okay, what do I do? She texted me and she's like, don't worry, I can Photoshop them out. And I was like, mm,
They're
I
still
don't,
there in real life.
That's high
yeah,
risk.
I know exactly. It was very high risk because they were sitting on a stump, like in front of plants. It'll be hard to whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I've been delaying for far too long now.
And I'll say what threw me off there was he was taking pictures for so long that like by that time I had talked myself out of it, being like, oh, he's actually serious about taking pictures. Like,
So you're
I guess
actively
this is
talking yourself out of it this whole 25, 30 minutes?
yes, yes.
Dang.
It's a battle up here. It's a freaking battle.
It always is.
It always is.
What did you sense that? Because I remember for ours, I could sense that like 20 minutes beforehand. I was like, she's onto it.
No, no, no. I had such like spotlight effect that I was just focused on myself. I was just like, I need to figure this out, calm down, do some breathing. I don't know.
It was like I was subconsciously comforting him like through this
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah. And then eventually I put the bag down and I was like, oh, I have a TikTok idea. Like, can we film this TikTok? And it's one of those where like you're not gonna know what's going on, but I'm gonna get you. Like I'm gonna prank you a little bit or something. And so I put the phone down. I also put my really nice camera down and my backpack so that the phone was facing perfectly that way. And so was my nice camera. And I just pressed record without her seeing, like on my camera. And then I spent way too long setting up the
Way
phone
too
for the
long.
TikTok. And I was like looking at it, I was like, yeah, framing could work. Like, I don't know. And then eventually
Aubrey,
I was like,
wait,
okay, okay, go
did you
ahead.
know when he was like when he was taking time for this like prank video, like what were you thinking?
I like felt like I was like, there's no way you don't know
You
at
think
that
you
point.
say that now though, but you actually did it.
It's so hard to say. It's like you don't believe it until it's like literally he is on a knee asking. I feel like you felt the same way too, where it's like I I want to say like I was 100% sold, but like if we had left and it had not happened, I would have been very shocked. Like
Okay.
I would have been like, that was the perfect time. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
And Wood, well done on the setup of the cameras because I mean the shots are
The
insane.
TikTok
Yeah, it
cover
worked
was
out. It
brilliant.
worked out.
That was great.
It worked
So
out.
then you set up the camera and it's going and Wood take now what's in your head as you walk to her to do this video.
Well, I still don't have the ring in my hand or the ring box. So I had to open my backpack while I'm setting up the phone with my left hand and like kind of blocking the backpack with my body. I have to reach in the backpack. I made it accessible, but I had to reach in the backpack and grab the ring box and like shield it. And then I'm like, you can see in the video on Aubrey's TikTok is like, I'm like, okay, you got to turn around now. Like, and so she's just like, okay, I'm going to turn around. And she turns around. I grab the ring box. I put it behind my back. I walk towards her. I put my arm around her and I'm like, okay, this is how it's going to go. But first, I want to tell you something. Aubriana Gavello, I love you so much. It has always been you. And as soon as I start saying that, she goes, are you fucking proposing?
That's awesome with the F bomb.
And then I was like, it always will be you. And then that's me getting on my knee. And then she just crumples. And then I said, will you marry me? I didn't get an answer.
I
On the second time I asked because she like had already crumpled and I like pushed her back up and I was like, hey, Answer.
Will you marry me?
Yeah, I was like, will you marry me? And then she's like, yeah. And then it just went on. And then all the 40 people that were at Palace of the Fine Arts started applauding, and like I pointed out the photographer, and it all kind of soaked over her. And she goes,
Is everybody here?
and I was like, everybody's here.
Yes.
Everybody's here. Yeah. I was gonna keep that a surprise, but like it was her requirement. And two, it was the first question she asked.
Yeah, it was
Oh
like
my
that's the thing
gosh.
that sticks out most is like us looking at each other and me going, "Is everybody here?" and him going, "Everybody's here."
Oh my gosh, that feeling just had to be insane that you knew like right nearby were all of your people.
The photographer was like, "We can stay back, take as many pictures as you want," and I was like, "Everyone's here."
Oh.
Yeah, so then we got in the car, and she didn't know where we were going, and so I drove that way. And you guys are all following our location like a Mission Impossible movie, like a tracker, Born
I had
Identity,
your
like
location up on my phone. I think people were talking to me, and I was like, just like looking at the location, waiting for it to change.
Yeah.
And then when you texted a photo that the ring was on her finger, I mean, we freaked out because you guys were literally at the Palace of the Fine Arts for whether it felt like 20 minutes, whether it was less or more, like it
It was
was
30, yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. And so we were just looking and your thing wasn't moving. Like it just said you were there, like on that lawn. And so we were just like, what is going on? Like,
He said no.
Yeah.
of
Things
course
are
there
getting
were like,
sketch.
I don't know how many dads like, I hope she says yes. Thank you. She will, Dad. My dad making that joke. Oh my God, so exciting. So then when you got in the car to drive, like what were you guys talking about during that car ride to the venue?
I was just making him tell me everything. I would literally was like, "Tell me everything. Like, how did you get me? Like, I didn't think you had a plan. I thought this was happening in November." Like, he had me so fooled.
Yeah, I think 3 weeks ago, you asked, like literally 3 weeks ago from like today, she had asked me, she's like, can I ask you something? And I'm like, yeah. And she, with that tone, it's like, I know it's about engagement. She's like, can I ask you something? I was like, sure. And she goes, do you have a date picked out yet? And I was like, I
Oh.
actually just picked one.
Yeah.
I just picked one.
Nice. Way to be quick on your feet.
Yeah. I was like, oh, there definitely is one. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God, yay. There's
Wait, so
a
then
date."
what's your follow-up to like, okay, glad it's on your radar. Like glad it's front of mind.
That was all I wanted to know was just like, have you
Have you been
picked a date?
thinking
I was
about
like,
it? And Wood's like, no, I have no idea. Yeah, get out of
yeah,
here.
literally.
I was like, it's so hard to organize with all your friends. Like I kept coming up with these, which it was, but also, so I wasn't lying. I was just like delaying a little bit. I was just like, it's so hard with your friends and our schedule and their schedules. And she's like, you know what? I don't care. I just need 3 people there. I just want it done. And I was like, okay, let's like, I
Let's
kept
calm down.
tempering expectations, knowing that it was in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. And then Obs, you walk into the venue. Everyone has seen this video. It's the sweetest thing. I can't get over your little stumbling. Like you were just literally falling to your knees, like at the engagement, walking into the party. It was so special. You were like, you literally looked, I didn't even know how your little heart and body could handle the amount of love that was going to be like poured on you.
It couldn't. It literally couldn't. I was like, I literally have never felt so elated in my life. Like that was, I think that's the most feeling I've ever felt ever. Like it was so much.
I
It was
haven't asked you this.
amazing.
How many people did you think would be there? Because you knew people were there, and I said everyone's here, but like,
I hadn't gotten as far as picturing it because I didn't think you had a date until 2 weeks ago.
He's just now
I
thinking
just like
about it.
never let myself like imagine it, which I think was better because nothing prepared me for that.
And then after the party at the venue, we went out on the town and we just like hit the bars and everyone was there. We had like this amazing squad. It was so much fun. Like, did you guys have the best time ever? I mean,
That was
tell everyone more
most
about
fun
that.
I've had going out in San Francisco ever. Like
Aw.
the whole
Love
day was written for me. Like that was the perfect day for me. Like
yeah, I think part of the plan, like obviously proposal at Palace of Fine Arts, rent out the patio. And then after, my plan was just let's go to bus stop. Because I know before me, Aubrey was self-described as a marina rat. And so she loved the marina bars and just like would stay out late, and it's like those were her spots, and I was like, there's nothing more Aubrey than just walking around the marina, hitting different bars, going to different bars, singing karaoke.
Yeah.
And we had the everything before that was so wholesome and elegant, I guess, if you will. And then after that, we were just like, all right, time to lean into Gavello. Yeah.
Obs, are you massaging because you're smiling too much? It hurts.
I'm smiling too much. It hurts. I'm massaging my little cheeks right now.
She's massaging her jaw, everybody. That was also a funny part of the planning where I was like, okay, and so at 4:00 when the venue's over, like, what's next? What's the plan? And Wood's like, yeah, like, well, there isn't one. Like, we're just gonna like hit the town. And you know me, I'm like, whoa, like, are you sure we shouldn't do anything? And then, you guys are so go with the flow. Marine was actually like, as long as there's a bar, like, if Wood's just like, here's the bar we're going to, so that first thing is like not up for everyone's input. It's just like, we're going to bus stop. But it literally ended up being so much fun. And I feel like it was almost like there weren't that many people there. There was just enough that like people knew you were the engaged couple, but like we really took over every space we went to, which was so nice,
Yeah.
We didn't lose each other. Like you could look across the bar and see like anyone there from the squad.
You controlled the DJ with some Blink 182.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. That's a key part of bus stop is the touch tunes.
Yeah.
We had to log in.
Now let's talk about the TikTok fame because it's kind of insane. Like you guys started blowing up from your infamous Neeper video where you guys are like the most compatible couple the internet's ever seen. Like how are they reading each other's minds? They're so similar. When that's happening, Obs, and then you guys start posting more videos, I was thinking, oh my God. And the fact that there's an engagement, like, in 4 weeks from the first viral video, like it's crazy. Like, and the fact that was on the horizon and you didn't even know, like, was so exciting. How are you guys even handling this? I mean, your engagement post has over 20,000 likes.
It's crazy. I mean, we've been on a lot of calls recently and I'm just like, this was a total accident. Like we did not mean for this to happen, but we're so grateful it did. And we're having so much fun doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the timing couldn't have worked out better for me. Like, it was a month to the day that she posted the best friends dictionaries to when we got engaged. And so, like, that video started going viral. Then part 2 kind of went viral. And then, like, some other ones started doing super well. And everyone's being so
nice,
supportive in the comments, which is rare to find on social media. Like, every comment was supportive. And I was like, well, this can only help. But that did add the factor in of like, oh, because I had only hired a photographer, and Victoria called me and she's like, yeah, you're probably going to need a videographer for this or film it somehow. I think we captured it for our memory, but then it happened to go on social, but it was still just another layer of awesomeness that we could have just layered onto this.
And how are you guys processing all of it? I mean, you have hundreds of thousands of people like watching every video you post, wanting more from you. I try to tell Aubrey all the time, this does not happen. Like Max even was telling my parents about this last night and he was like, we're maybe numb to it because Vic and Nat have done this for a while. But like, if we forget about them, the fact that like our 2 friends who we know like posted a video and have gone this viral, like for your love story, it's insane.
Like,
it doesn't
happen.
This
is not normal, but it speaks to how awesome you guys are and the world loves you guys, which is awesome.
Well, thanks, Max.
Thanks, Max.
Gotcha.
I think it's normalized for us too because of you and Nat.
Yeah.
But I think what's weird for me is like coming into my office and like everyone has seen me getting engaged online and being like, we saw because the entire internet saw and congrats, instead of like, me being a normal employee and just walking in and being like, oh my God, is that a ring?
Yeah. So true.
And the question about processing, I don't think we fully have.
Yeah, no.
And I don't think we will, because the good thing, in my opinion, about what we're doing is that we're just being us, and it's just like a camera's there. Like, I think that's the easiest and most fun part for us. It's like, yeah, there have been a few that we like set up, but they're not really skits, but just like trends or whatever. But for the most part, like story times is just doing this.
Yeah.
Like it's just talking about us and our friends and our families. And it's
my favorite thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So safe to say all of your followers and fans can be expecting more content?
Good question.
They can be expecting more content. We are leaned in.
Unfortunately, we can't get engaged again.
If you do, I got your back.
We do have a
though.
wedding.
Don't forget it.
But
Oh
there
my
will, yeah, but there will be
gosh.
a wedding and lots of wedding planning. And then just we again, like I said, we have a busy summer, so we have a lot of stuff we're doing that we can share with everyone.
Last thing is I want to talk about your love. Like, how crazy is it that you guys are engaged? Like, you're going to marry each other. I literally said it to Max the other day. I go, Aubrey and Wood are going to marry each other. I mean, it's still wild sometimes. I literally don't know if I will ever get numb to just the fact that you guys are going to spend your lives together. I think that will always have some sort of just like, holy shit, like things work out type of feeling for me when I think about your love.
We were looking at my TikTok in bed, and there was there was the cover art of like our engagement story, and it's us like whatever. And he was like, imagine 2016 Aubrey seeing that. Like if you could somehow go back and show her that, like I don't know how that would have processed. Like that would have been the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, because we were fully, besides you two, like the only connection that we had, we were fully living separate, completely separate, I guess parallel, but
Yeah.
separate lives for 6 years. No
I know.
speaking, no talking, no curious minds, nothing, literally just like
Existing on this earth.
existing. And your wedding and your engagement and all that.
So
Yeah.
crazy. So crazy. I always knew for Wood that you were the love of his life. I knew that.
Yeah, but
Aubrey
and she couldn't
is
say that to me. Like she really could not because of the life I was living. And
totally. And I was talking to Mrs. Cavello about this and my mom, but like Aubrey with you, oh, fuck. Thought I could make it through this episode without crying. But Aubrey with you is like, oh, fuck. She's like the
You're making
happiest,
me cry.
best version of herself. It's almost like the reason I say I would always looked at you and I knew that was the love of your life. But it's like with Aubrey, it's almost like she has now become the butterfly. Like we've always known that she was, but because she's with you and it's like she's never been happier and it's crazy. And that's why like I just think about Aubrey, everything you've been through in your whole life and all the growth you've had. And I'm just so happy that you guys are together and that Wood is who he is. And I'm like I'm losing the plot, but you're a butterfly.
Don't make me cry right now.
What's super cool?
I feel like a little butterfly.
yeah, that's like very similar to what I said to Max when he was marrying you. I was like, Max, I just love you.
Well, no, what's super cool too is that conversation, or like what you're saying right there. I was chilling at the bar after your guys' engagement with Charlie, Wood's older brother, and they're close. But Charlie was like, I always knew Wood was like my little brother, and he was great. But then when Aubrey came on the scene, and like she came to vacations and she came to trips, I was like, yo, a new level to my little brother has been unlocked. So it's cool that like your loved ones from each side see that about you guys both when you come together.
That is so cute. I've never heard that.
And you got in the group chat real quick, so I hear, way back in the day.
I got added to their sibling group chat the first night I met them, which was a big deal.
Exactly.
We were out. We were at a bar, and my brother, like Aubrey, went to the bathroom, and Charlie was like, "I think we got added to the group chat." I was like, "Whoa!" The first night you're going out with her, like
That's
my
what I'm
goodness.
saying though. He saw
But
something different right away, which is awesome.
yeah, but that's also like a testament to Aubrey. Like you bring Aubrey. This is what I've always said to you. I was like,
Thanks, guys.
if I bring Aubrey anywhere, I know she brightens up the room. Like the room is better with her in it. And every time she walks in a room, everyone's not just because she's beautiful, but like everyone's eyes light up and they're like, hell yeah, Gavello's here.
That's sweet.
If you had to give your vows right now. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I know.
Oh, well, I'm so happy for you guys. It's literally only just the beginning of all the planning and all the wedding festivities and the bridal and the groom era. Can't freaking wait. I just love you guys so much. It feels illegal that we're going to be going on double dates for the rest of our lives, that we'll have to make one of our kids marry each other to create House of Brownwood.
This is wrong. This is sick and wrong that this is our reality.
House of Brownwood. Yeah, Max. I'm just glad our significant others get along, man. Like that's really cool.
I'm glad they're cool. Yeah,
You guys,
I'm glad they're
one time
We were
really
first on the scene. Never forget that.
One time late at night, the four of us were like watching a show or something, and then just started thinking, what if Max and I had a kid, and then Aubrey and Wood had a kid, and then those kids fell in love and got married, and then they created a kid. That kid of that gen
It's gonna
is
suck.
is crazy. And then we started calling it House of Brownwood. So that's our next manifestation.
That's our legacy.
The House of Brownwood begins. Yeah.
I love you guys so much. This will not be the last time the four of us are on Real Pod. So till next time.
These are my favorite episodes. We love you. We wouldn't be here without you guys, most literally.
That's actually true.
Aw, we love you guys. We love you guys so much. And we individually would not be here without you guys. So it's a universal.
There we go.
Love you guys so
Appreciate
much.
you guys.
Love you.